So I woke up this morning just thinking, ugh, it's Monday. No, please. But then I was thinking, yay, I have a Room for Sunshine episode to record. It's Monday. And I hope that this show gives you the same chance to change and brighten your day. My name's Alyssa. Thanks for tuning back in and welcome to your bi-weekly Monday episode of Room for Sunshine. It's so funny how that happens, isn't it? It's you wake up on whatever someone has once called the wrong side of the bed, and yeah, things come in, thoughts come in, you see a text you didn't want to see, you think about something you have to do later on in the day, and I don't like starting my day that way, but also sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes we wake up and shit's just already hitting the fan. So to have small pieces of brightness, small bright lights that bring us that feeling of something that inspires me, something that I'm excited by and passionate about, that to me is one of the gifts of life, to find small, simple things that we love and that bring us joy. And this podcast is that for me. So thank you again for being here. You know, I will just take a moment to acknowledge, one, I have some new decor on the walls. So if you're someone who's been watching, yes, I have new decor. I will then second acknowledge that I am in a sweater again and I am sweating again. And my friend and I were thinking about the fact that there needs to be a word. So this is really sending it out into the podcast ether. And I'm hoping somebody comes back to me with something good. A word for when it's really hot out and you still want to be cozy, so you throw on a sweater or a hoodie anyways. I'll put a poll in the group, but we need a word for it. We need a word for how do you describe that feeling? That's my Monday thought for you. That's what's on my mind. Those are the priorities on my mind this Monday. And now getting more into what we actually are here for. I'm in a weird mood today. I don't know what it is. It's just not, it doesn't, words are overrated this morning. This week we are working with creative, sensual, intimate, passionate energy. We're working with the sacral chakra. And I wanted to kind of spend time getting to know these different qualities of ourselves, because whether or not you practice yoga, whether or not you want to go into the philosophy side of things or the science, we have both brained people listening. I have scientists and I have spiritual yogis and mathematicians and authors and everything in between, gardeners, mothers, fathers, who knows what else. But I like to give a little bit of understanding and knowledge around what it is we're talking about, because I'm someone who likes to understand what it is I'm working with. I like to know things rather than just doing them or hearing about them without having the full scope of what they even are. So today, I really want to just talk about passion in life. Because from my own experience, I have found that many of us have become too busy for passion. And that's a problem, because passion is what guides and opens some of this loving, expressive, emotional energy within us. If you talk about cooking a meal or going for a walk or doing a basic house chore, but you do it with this lens of finding passion and intimacy behind the thing you're doing, all of a sudden something mundane can become much more enjoyable. But we don't want to have to make just mundane things enjoyable. We don't want to just make the task of copying things for your boss or running out and getting somebody a coffee enjoyable. I hope that we can find pleasure in those tasks, but we also want to be able to find pleasure and passion in our daily lives intentionally. And these are big words: pleasure, passion, intimacy. When I first heard these words, my brain went to sex, because in my head, pleasure and intimacy were just reserved for the bedroom. And I had a teacher who talked about finding intimacy with small moments in life. And I love that, because intimacy and passion and pleasure are not just about you and one other person in the bedroom, or you and yourself even in the bedroom. It is about how do we find that really subtle, nuanced energy of emotion in everything that we do, in every practice of our life. Unfortunately, from what I've seen, most of us don't have as much time for passion because of our things called jobs. Which makes sense. We need to make money. We need to go to work. We need to do all of these things. However, we can't be devoid of passion, because then I believe we are lacking creative flow. We're lacking this energy, this sacral energy that is all about opening up expression and emotionality and flow. And creativity is so, so useful, not just if you're a quote unquote creative person who is in a quote unquote creative field, but it's how we view the world. It's how we view ourselves. It's how we view one another. And we need to stay inspired so that that creative energy can flow. You know, we talk about creation. That could be having a baby. That could be having a plant baby. That could be building a business. Creativity has so many more meanings than our limited belief system has taught us. So this Monday, I am going to invite you to find passion and pleasure out in the world. And you might know exactly what makes you feel excited. You might know, oh yes, I feel passionate when I am on the dance floor. I feel pleasure when I go for a long swim in the ocean or surf in the ocean and don't have my phone and nobody's talking to me or asking me to do anything. That's when I feel that highest sense of pleasure. And if you know these things about yourself, amazing. Carve out time to go do them. But if you're anything like me, it's actually confusing. You know, I worked in a creative field for so long that I thought the things that I was doing for work were the things that were supposed to be bringing me pleasure, but they actually weren't. I was dreading sometimes sitting down and writing, and there's two sides to that coin. You know, it's not always going to be easy to do the thing you love to do. And it's not going to be easy to find intimacy in every moment and every action. But how do we start to find the activities and the moments that really bring us that open inspiration? And the challenge this week is to actually do this by yourself. And the reason for that is that I think a lot of us have started to confuse intimacy as being you and another being. But intimacy is something that we first need to cultivate within ourselves before I think we can actually truly experience it with another being. And pleasure is something that is not just somebody to you or you to you. Pleasure is in how you interact with everything, with every conversation. It's how you interact with food and money and work and play and all of these elements of our lives that we tend to dread or go, oh, a business meeting, or oh, I have this work strengths, or oh, I have this. And we start to dread this whole to-do list of ours. But we need to be able to find the small, simple pleasures in these moments. Otherwise, in my opinion and from my own experience, we start to lose that pleasure in the moments that we are supposed to enjoy, even in the moments that we want to enjoy. We want to find that passion when we go to a concert, but we're so busy thinking about all the things that we could be doing with that time. And we're so not in the present moment that we actually lose that sense of intimacy with the moment. And as you go out and maybe discover something for the first time, maybe you find a new passion, maybe you go to a museum by yourself, maybe you go to a movie by yourself, maybe you find a new workout activity to do by yourself. Whatever it is for you, the invitation and challenge is to really tap into your sensual energy linked with this activity? Can we fall in love with whatever that moment in time is and really get to feel and experience the passion? And then when we come back on Thursday, we'll shift this conversation to be a little more inward and in your home and in your bedroom and in the space that we traditionally associate intimacy with. And that is going to be our small way to brighten your next few days. Thank you as always for tuning in. Have an amazing day.